Thank you.
Joan?
We're now, yes, thank you. We are now on step 4, experiment with newly learned strategies. And this is an opportunity in the PLC process for team members to try out the strategies that they have just learned and just seen in the video with each other. And so today, let's see, I don't seem to be able to move the slide forward. Jackie, I wonder if you could please, oh, there we go. Okay, so today we are going to look at session 2A from the English Learner Practice Guide, or recommendation 2 from the English Learner Practice Guide, session 2A from the PLC Facilitator's Guide. This recommendation is to integrate oral and written English language instruction into content area teaching. And this is a recommendation particularly for content teachers, but for all teachers of English learners. There are how-to steps for how to achieve the recommendation, and how-to step 1 is to strategically use instructional tools such as short videos, visuals, and graphic organizers to anchor instruction and help students make sense of content. And videos are something new in the classroom with the internet connections in the classroom. Just to show a little video clip, for example, of a tsunami really brings the idea of what a tsunami is home to a student in a way that reading about it couldn't do. And visuals, of course, we know the importance of visual aids, and graphic organizers are a wonderful tool that have been around for, I think I first heard about graphic organizers maybe 25 years ago. They've been around, and your teachers may be thinking this, and you may be thinking this. What is new and why we are putting this in the English Learner Practice Guide is that research shows that these are effective practices and make a difference in the academic achievement of English learners. So for content teachers, for all teachers, the practice guide encourages us to use these strategies and use them often for our English learners and for all students in the classroom, because these make a difference in the academic achievement of all students. And next slide, please. So what I would like you to, teachers would be doing in the PLC is they would be working with each other to come up with a graphic organizer to use to accompany a text on Rosa Parks. What I would like to do to prepare us for this activity is to use the chat pod to list and brainstorm different types of graphic organizers that you use or that are good to use with students. Just please, in the chat pod, write down the names of some graphic organizers that you are familiar with. Okay. The Venn diagram is an excellent graphic organizer to use to compare and contrast something. And the T-chart, very good. Cause and effect. These are some excellent tree map. There are many ways that you can organize a single passage, as we'll see in a minute. So thank you for sharing your WKL chart, the word web. These are all excellent graphic organizers. Thank you for sharing. Oh, and double bubble map, there's a thinking map for us. The flow map. Okay, very good. And I will thank you very much for sharing. I will go on to the next slide. Here are some of the graphic organizers that you listed: cause and effect, character map, compare and contrast, Venn diagram, sequencing, circle map, and bridge map, and along with the words and the actual graphic organizer itself. So in this activity that you are going to do, you are going to listen to a passage about Rosa Parks and think to yourself as you hear this passage, what graphic organizer, if you were using this passage with a group of students would you use to help students make sense of content? And we would also like you to think about why you are choosing this particular graphic organizer. And in a minute, we'll ask you to share this. But first, I'm going to read the passage to you. Here we see a picture of Rosa Parks with Dr. King behind her. On December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks took the bus home from her job as a seamstress in a department store. She sat in the 5th row, which was designated as the first row of the colored section. As her ride home continued, the bus became full. When this occurred, the seats in the front of the bus were supposed to be given to white passengers. The bus driver ordered Rosa Parks and 3 other African Americans to move to the back of the bus so that white bus riders could sit in their seats. When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, she was arrested and fined $10. Parks' courage set off a series of events that changed the United States. So what graphic organizer would you use for this passage and why? Let's see. The WKL chart, a flow map, a sequence of events. That's a good, again, a flow map. The tree map. The cause and effect. Someone else chose the flow map. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. Circle map. Flow map for sequencing too. Yes. Okay. Many of you have some great ideas, and really, for this, there is no wrong answer. Many different graphic organizers would work with this passage. Storyboard. Venn diagram, yes, compare and contrast, that's a good idea. Okay, so let me share with you some other, in a professional development where teachers heard that passage and they worked in a small group, as would happen in a PLC. These are some of the different graphic organizers that they came up with. The circle map, as someone suggested, with Rosa Parks in the middle and her different attributes around her characteristics, that she had conviction, that she was courageous, and so on. Also, as you mentioned in the chat pod, the sequence of events, a timeline with Rosa Parks first getting on the bus all the way up to what ended up her being arrested and fined $10. And there are a couple of others. A character map is another way of taking the same information, really from the circle map, and putting it into a figure of Rosa Parks and showing the different parts of her body, really her legs representing that she took action, that she was an agent of change, that her heart showed that she was courageous and brave, her head that she was thoughtful, believed in justice, and so on. And then one more map. The bridge map is a thinking map that is used for making an analogy. And in this case, the relating factor is sparked. Rosa Parks sparked the civil rights movement as the Sputnik sparked the space race. And as you have seen from all the various graphic organizers that you thought of for this passage and that the teachers used in the various graphic organizers that you saw, there are many ways to look at this. And one thing about it is, as well, is that you can use a graphic organizer to differentiate for the different levels of fluency that your English learners have. For example, the circle map or the character map for students at beginning levels of proficiency on up to the bridge map to show an analogy, which is a more complex way of looking at the subject of Rosa Parks. So through graphic organizers, the different message from the passage and the meaning allows for greater comprehension for the students. And as you saw in the video, then that graphic organizer can be used to create a writing framework and a writing sample. Great. Thank you. And next slide, please. So the final step of the 5-step process is reflect and plan. And in this step, the participants of the PLC again get to discuss and think about how the new learning is different from or similar to what they already do. And during this step, they will be given an assignment to use in the classroom that is related to what they just learned, or they can come up with their own activity to use in the classroom that relates to the strategy that they just learned. So, and they are also in this step given some reading material from the English Learner Practice Guide to prepare for the next session. So that takes us through the PLC process and the 5 steps, and it gives you an idea of some of the activities that happen within the PLC sessions. Okay, and these are the references to the English Learner Practice Guide and the PLC Facilitator's Guide. And the acknowledgement page, Joe Domino and Mary Jo Taylor, and I worked on the Facilitator's Guide, and I'd also really like to thank REL Southwest for their assistance with this project. Really, this project was totally sponsored by them, and we really appreciate their support in bringing this to all of you and communicating about them through these bridge events. Thank you.